we can shoot the shit and we can have fun. But the minute you do something that I'm not okay with, I'm going to let you know. It's not about me saying I'm your boss. It's about me saying, this is your job. We can joke around, but there are boundaries.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Restaurant Punk!
Restaurant Punk!
The Jenni edition.
Yes, the
Special
Jenni.
Jenni
And this is
edition.
Jenni, everybody.
Jenni from the block.
Hello.
It is Jenni from the block.
Hello.
That's great. Welcome, Jenni. Welcome to our show.
Authority.
How are you?
I'm going to punch someone in the face if you keep manhandling those mics. Swear to God.
Well, you said don't talk
Ever so gently.
when I touch.
Is that what George tells you?
When it's at your mouth, don't talk.
talk.
All right, what are we talking about today?
Hello. Well, Liz, how are you?
Good.
Matthew, how are you?
Fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's talk about being an owner, a restaurant owner, a business owner, but being too nice. Because I feel like you want to portray your kindness and, you know, have everybody feel safe and wonderful in an environment that they want to work at. But then I feel like a lot of the employees start taking advantage of your kindness and feel like they can walk all over you. And that's a huge problem for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nice guy. I like to give. I'm a giver.
Right.
And
You're such a nice guy.
Thanks, Matt. And I feel like sometimes people just take advantage of it, and they'll come in maybe late a little bit, be like, I'm sorry, and then you're like, it's okay, don't let it happen again. They keep doing it, and unless you freak the out, they're gonna get away with murder practically. So I know that you're nice. And in your position, and I'm sorry to say it's even harder because you're a female business owner, which I don't feel like a lot of people respect anyway, which is wrong. I feel like everybody should respect their bosses, whether male or female or whatever. And, how do you cope with that? How do you put your foot down and let your employees know, like, hey, I'm the boss. You have to respect me, without being like, hey, I'm the boss. You have to respect me.
Go ahead, start, Matt. Go ahead. Just
Okay. Overall, I like to lead my crew, and I like them to know that I'm there to support them in most capacity, but it has to be a sense of professionalism first. I need to know that they have all the weapons to do their job well, and for me to build a safe, fun environment that they can succeed. But when after that, I don't want to get too buddy because, like you said, it leads to somewhat, I'm calling out tomorrow because I had too many drinks, and you're telling me that, and you're just not going to show up.
Yeah, but how do you handle? What do you do? Like, what do you say?
I become the bad guy. Like, it's almost like it flips a switch because they know me as very friendly. I'm there for them for everything, and they just get too comfortable sometimes. I like to be very friendly with my coworkers or my employees, and then I really want to build a sense of just a really great, stable, professional, fun environment. But when it becomes too much fun and not about work, and if I let the bar down too much, allowing them to have so much creativity because I want them to thrive, but sometimes that can be a little troubling.
Yeah. So do you feel like you should ever give them that much leeway?
I'm learning.
You're learning. Okay.
Well, what
I've
about
been
just
burned.
creating boundaries?
Yes.
So I find I've never owned a restaurant, but I've been in charge of people in the past. But I'm very clear. Okay, we can shoot the shit and we can have fun. But the minute you do something that I'm not okay with, I'm going to let you know. It's not about me saying I'm your boss. It's about me saying, this is your job. We can joke around, but there are boundaries. And I will specifically tell people if they do something that's not okay, I let them know I'm not okay with that. And do not think for a second that we're going to be buddy and then you're going to get away with murder. Because there are people who've worked for me who are my friends. And I tell them, because you are my friend, you should never even put me in that position.
Agreed.
So, but I'm just very, very clear with people.
It's very unique with how you are as a person that I've gotten to know, because I adore that. And I wish I was more like you. but I can't be. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
direct.
But you're doing yourself a favor when you are clear in setting boundaries and letting them know there are, in fact, boundaries.
Yeah, I start that like in the very beginning. Thanks. I set like a guide. Like, this is what I want. This is what I expect. This is what you should do. And if you don't, I either take away a shift a week. And I'm like, okay, you can get it back next week if you understand what happened. I have a bunch of women in the front, and we kind of like are catty together.
And what about your kitchen stuff?
Oh, they do their own thing.
But when you want to tell them to be able to,
But they
That's what
know
I'm saying.
they know that they can get away with doing what the want.
They know at like 8:00. I don't care what you do. Do your thing. They don't bother me. They don't mess with me. They don't
mess with you.
They just do their job.
Okay.
Well, that's
So
convenient.
they don't give you shit.
They don't give me shit.
That's good.
So it's mostly sometimes the front of the house. But then again, you're saying that nobody gives you a problem.
No one gives me a huge problem.
Okay.
No one.
Because I've seen you work and your people do respect you and you're very nice.
They do.
And,
They're
you know,
they're young girls and they have their moments. But
and I feel like they look up to a woman, which is
Yeah.
also huge. Saying she's a woman boss, and you know we look up to her, and we would kind of want to follow a lead that she's presenting. And I want to make sure that you know people out there can understand that you have to respect your authorities no matter what,
yeah.
whether they're a male or a female, your best friend, your worst enemy per se, because that's a position that they're in that they have to lead and do the behind the scenes and everything back of the house. And you can't be too nice. In my opinion, I've learned over the years for being such a nice guy, you can't be too nice. Yeah, you have to put a stand down, because if you're too nice and you let too many things go, and then like you said, Matt, you become like the bad guy, they're going to respect you even less on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell he thinks he is, yelling
There's
at
no
me or telling me I can't
consistency,
do this, that, and everything else? Well, then go.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. When you say too nice, are you saying that being too nice means that you let people get away with doing things they shouldn't be doing? Because I see it as I can be nice, but I'm also not going to let you get away with shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I am very fair and I'm very accommodating, but don't think for 1 second I'm going to let you shit on me.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about nice. Like if a employee forgot to maybe put the silverware perfectly.
Right.
Okay, that kind of mentality. I'm going to be there like, you know, can you please fix that? We just got to keep it, you know, standard and always the same way, whatever. But I feel like as opposed to like those other managers or business owners, like, why is this like this? You can't have this like this.
Right.
You know, why are you even here? Why am I hired you in the first place? Like blow the hell up mean, where people, like we had another episode of like, you know, the respect value of fear versus,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fear versus respect.
But how many times do you have to tell people the silverware needs to be straight
Yeah.
before you get to that crazy level?
Right.
Not that extreme, but you know what I mean?
And what kind of repercussions come with not doing your job?
Exactly. I don't feel like my staff ever takes advantage of me, but they have sometimes. And you know, it's okay. It's okay sometimes. It is okay sometimes because they do so much without complaining, or, you know, they do a perfect circle ballet of, I can't even speak how well they do. You know what I mean? So I kind of let that slide a little bit.
Of course, everybody has an off day, and you can't just nitpick
Correct.
everything.
Right.
I can't be
because they're
that
doing
Nazi
so much.
boss that's on them for everything. You know what I mean? And I just don't want people to be taken advantage of for their kindness. I don't want them to take their kindness for weakness,
Right.
you know? And what I was saying about you before is that you are very direct. I respect you on a different level for a lot of other things. You know what I mean? And I wish I could be more like that, because I don't view you less because of how you are. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I view you.
You set clear boundaries.
There's no questioning.
Yeah.
Like I know how you are, but like when all of a sudden like you're sitting there in like super boss mode, let's say, okay, but then you make a crack about something that's inappropriate or whatever, and you start laughing. Like that's, for me, that's like, wow, like that's great. Like she laughed, like it was great. You know what I mean? And it kind of like ups it a little bit for me. Like I'm looking forward to those more moments.
Right.
But I never look at you as like I'm this mean, terrible person. You should do it exactly how you're supposed to do. You're very direct. I'm like, this is how it should be
Right.
done. You know what I mean?
Well, I think, you know, honestly, going both sides, from employee to owner to employee or manager, I think the best way is to be direct, right? Nothing's worse. And, you know, you have beef with someone and then you're just not telling them and they're doing things wrong. And you don't say anything. So in a way, maybe you're being the nice guy because you're letting it slide, but you're not helping yourself and you're not helping that employee any because they're starting to learn bad habits because you're not saying anything. So it's hurting you, it's hurting the employee because they're thinking that's okay. And it's hurting the morale of everyone else around them because they're thinking, wow, they're getting away with murder and they don't have to do their job.
Yeah, and they have to pick up the slack.
Yeah. Or why should I do it if they're not doing it?
Exactly. And then one thing I feel that with owners and managers, I think the best way to really get people on board is to find the one thing that everyone hates doing, whether it's because it's hard, it's monotonous, or it's just like a dirty job, whatever. And you, as the owner or manager, do it, right? You're in the trenches with them. You're showing them that you're in the trenches with them. And then suddenly they see it as, okay, well, if it's not beneath them, then they'll show you more respect. Just by that. That's just a tip for people.
And that's what we always hope for, as opposed to, oh, well, the owner's here, he'll just do it for us so we don't have to type of mentality. Yeah. And that's happened before. And I've learned to step back. I'm like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Because I want to help. I want to help for them and I want to help for the business. And I want to help for myself. But sometimes it gets too comfortable. And I don't want that to be taken advantage of as well. And I agree with what you're saying, that getting in the trenches, but don't be too nice to the point where you're getting in the trenches all the time.
And
to where you,
No, but sometimes you could say, you show them you can do it first. And then the next few times, grab some that, come help me with this. Come help me. And then they're doing it with you. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a way to do it.
Okay.
And you want to get to know your employees so you can know their strengths and weaknesses. And you want them to know you because they need to know your opinions about every matter in your restaurant and how you would like it done. But them to feel safe enough to come to you, it's like, hey, what if we do it this way? And them not to be shot down.
Yes. Would you be open to if you had employees come up to you and they say, well, or maybe you presented this. Let's say there's side work. And there's certain things that some people don't like to do and things other people like to do. Would you make that deal and say, look, I understand that you don't particularly like doing that. But if you guys collectively come together, let's say there's 3 people on staff and you divvy it up based on who wants to do what, I'm okay with that. And do it that way if you want it, but as long as it gets done.
As long as it gets done.
Otherwise, we're going to have to evenly distribute it across the board.
But sometimes you'll have certain employees that don't work well together.
Yeah.
And so there does become over time some animosity or just like, oh, well, and people like to do the same thing or have the same section because they're comfortable.
Right.
So that person gets to be known as, oh, I just do the coffees. That's my job because that's my spot. I've been doing that. So no, you kind of have to break that up.
Yeah, you're right. It's a tricky thing to kind of navigate because you run into that problem where you think you're the only person that can do that job.
Exactly.
And now it's a turf thing over the coffee machine.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Over the coffee machine.
Like, shut up, bitch.
Of all things.
And sometimes it sucks because you have that star employee that you just mesh with so well that you're actually just everything they do it exceeds expectations.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Liz feels about me.
Who feels about you?
You.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for explaining that to me. And now I'm enlightened. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything for you, Liz.
But overall, you need to have a foundation of structure and them to feel safe, but them to follow through, and you need to follow through as an employer to set standards and have them met. And when they're not met, you have to call it out, and you can't really ask somebody to do something that you're not willing to do yourself because they won't follow you.
Or I find that how are you going to, and this could be in any field, how can you ask your employees to do something and you don't know how to do it?
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough.
How to do it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would feel, because I just know how it works, and I think that's a tough thing navigating with back of the house too. I've encountered this with bartending. There's a lot of bartenders who say, well, they don't necessarily respect their managers. Like, well, you've never done this job. So that is an obstacle that people have to face. Do you really want to learn how to do someone else's job? No, not really. But it is a good idea to learn something about it or jump in and learn it a little bit so that you don't have to deal with that. People do shut down when they think that you cannot relate to what they're doing.
But that communication still has to be there.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you do have to empathize with the job, but the job needs to get done. And even though you're not as strong as them, there has to be respect.
Yeah, I don't think there should never be a goal to be as strong. I think it helps. Like if you had a background and you were a chef and then now you're an owner and you could speak to the line cooks, they're going to understand. They're going to respect you because they know you did the job. But I don't think everyone needs to have an expertise in every position, but I think you need to have an idea what it feels like to jump back there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I started as a dishwasher, so
So
I can empathize with the dishwasher.
yeah.
Yeah, dishwashing
It's
was
not-
no fun.
It's not fun.
I think it's the worst field in the restaurant.
I love doing the dishes.
Oh,
Like
you're
so this
correct.
one
You're
place I
nuts.
worked at.
Zone out.
I
You're like,
love it.
no one
You're
talks
nuts.
to me, and I'm.
I love it. So one time there's one place it got really busy often and then the dishwasher gets so backed up and then I don't know, he would disappear and I'd be like, opportunity, right? Jump on dish and just start washing dishes. And in my mind, and I'm not thinking for 1 second anyone's watching me, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, look how fast I am. Look how I'm getting done. Like I'm on fire.
so
like
good at
these, like I have goals. It doesn't matter what job I am. I have goals.
I gotta
Wow.
clean this plate in 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah.
Wow. You should come to Vintage more often. Then if you make sure them get backed up and she just goes to the town. All right. Well, that was a good one. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was nice to have Jenni.
Thanks, Jenny.
And Jenni, who are you?
I'm Jenny. Hi.
That's it. That's all you're allowed
Jenny,
to know.
hi. Well,
Call me Jenny from the block.
there you go. As your
Owner operator.
Sure.
yeah. What do you own?
George's Place, Cape May.
Occupy the Plaza, the Washington Commons.
Washington Commons.
Wonderful.
Yep.
All right. Well, have we
Thanks, guys.
hit the nail on the head with this
Yeah, I
one?
think so.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks. All right. My name is Nikos.
Jenny from the block.
That's me.
Badass Liz.
Let us, Liz.
Bye.
Bye.
But wait, is your mic, you're going to bring it closer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know you are a professional.
Thank you. I hope I don't
Sure.
get spanked.
Hope I do.
Do you hope you don't? Because I feel like
No, you're right.
I got
You got me. You got me good.
What you got? What do you want?